just wanted a change of atmosphere. I'm sure you will understand that, Mr. Quick.
He was a man. Well, a ham sandwich eating man. I love your work, brother. I mean, I love it. You just changed that whole rap thing, man. Can't touch this. See, what I'm trying to do is show you that I am serious about having a relationship with my son. And having a relationship with you, too.
And tonight, the Atlanta entertainment community is coming together to mourn one of its own, 52-year-old Tommy Ford.
Ford, best known for his role as Tommy on the hit show Martin, suddenly passed away late this afternoon. Now, the actor's Instagram page confirmed his passing, surrounded by family and friends.
TMZ is reporting that an aneurysm ruptured in his stomach, and shortly after that, he was placed on life support.
It wasn't cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't really want to see him like that. It was just like, it was so surreal because he was so full of life, you know?
You know him, the guy with no job but all the advice. Tommy from Martin.
So if you need us, right, we'll be over at Nipsey's, getting our freak on.
But behind that iconic joke was a life full of real drama. Secret battles, legal twists, and on-set tension you never saw coming. Thomas Michael Ford wasn't just the funny sidekick. He was navigating fame, personal struggles, and a passion for giving back. Born Thomas Michael Ford on September 5, 1964 in Los Angeles, California, he was just a bright-eyed kid with big dreams and a bigger personality. Thomas was raised in a military household. His father was a pipe fitter.
My dad was an MP in the Navy, and that's how he ran the house. Every morning, I don't care if it's a weekend, he had a saying that nothing comes to a sleeper but a dream. Get off your butt and do something. So that's the way we were raised. Work, 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 work. You don't work, you don't eat.
And his mother a school secretary. You already know discipline and structure were part of his daily routine, but little Tommy had other plans, and Hollywood was calling. Now here's the twist. He didn't originally dream of acting. Nope. In fact, he wanted to be a preacher.
People think I'm a preacher, but I'm not a preacher. I just church boy.
You thought she was going to preach that.
Can you imagine Tommy Strawn in a pulpit? But life had different plans, and that dramatic flair of his found a home on the stage. He eventually moved across the country to Florida, where he attended Long Beach City College before transferring to the prestigious University of Southern California, where he earned a Bachelor of Fine Arts in acting.
That's actually my first film. I was right out of college, just graduated from USC, their Fine Arts acting program.
That's right, Tommy had serious chops. While other kids were out partying, Thomas was mastering monologues, building stage presence, and preparing to become a face and voice America would never forget. And when he hit the stage, you could feel that energy. It wasn't just comedy, it was charisma, discipline, and raw talent, all wrapped up in that signature smile. The world hadn't met Tommy yet, but trust, he was coming. All right, let's talk about the career that made Thomas Michael Ford a 90s TV icon. His early work included small roles in stage plays, TV shows, and even a few blink and you'll miss it movie appearances. But the big break? That came in 1992, when he landed the role that would change everything. Tommy Strawn on the smash hit sitcom Martin.
Got the draws, okay?
Let's be real, Martin was the show. The vibe, the jokes, the fashion, iconic. And Tommy, he was the smooth, straight-faced friend who balanced out Martin's wild antics. Every group had a Tommy, but nobody ever had a job like his.
Tommy, what? Everybody in the audience knows damn well you ain't got no job, man.
That running gag about him never having a job, it turned into a whole cultural moment.
So all my life I heard about how important it was to work, how important it was to do, how important it was to apply yourself. And now all of a sudden I felt like I was stripped. Man, you telling me that I can't work? Wow. You telling me I'm some lazy bum with no purpose? So I had a lot of resistance to it, but it worked. And I was getting a big check, so they can say what the hell they want. Let's say praise the Lord.
But don't get it twisted. Tommy worked that role like a pro. The show ran for 5 seasons, and during that time, Thomas became a fan favorite. His chemistry with Martin Lawrence and the rest of the cast was chef's kiss. But behind the scenes, we'll get to that tea later. After Martin ended in 1997, most sitcom stars faded into the background. Not Tommy. he stayed busy and booked. He appeared in New York Undercover.
If you ever disobey another one of my orders, I'll let your personal feelings get in the way of one of my operations, you're out.
The Parkers.
It undermines what I try to do as her best parent.
Oh, this coming from a woman with an asp on her head.
The Jamie Foxx Show.
Jamie, come on, brother. I'm telling you, you will love it. It will be a revival of Cubism. Oh, man, Cube and them gonna be there?
And even took on roles in films like Harlem Nights and Across the Tracks.
You work hard, all right? You bring your time down a few seconds, I'll make a call up to Stanford and see what the story is, all right?
Yeah?
He was versatile. Comedy, drama, stage, you name it. He did it. But Tommy didn't stop there. He became a director, a children's book author, and a motivational speaker. Oh yeah, this man had layers. He even played a judge and earned the nickname Pope of Comedy.
I'm the Pope of Comedy, dog! I'm a church boy. I grew up in church all my life.
On Bill Bellamy's Who's Got Jokes, giving upcoming comedians their shot at fame. While Hollywood never quite gave him the leading man roles he deserved, Thomas Michael Ford carved out a steady, respectable career. And let's not forget, he did it all with that signature charm and a whole lot of heart. Now let's take a peek into Tommy's love life. Because behind that cool exterior was a man who definitely kept things interesting. Thomas was married to Gina Sasso, a businesswoman from Florida, and the two tied the knot in 1997. Right around the time Martin rapped. They had 2 beautiful children and seemed like the picture-perfect family, on the outside at least. But behind closed doors, things got rocky. The couple eventually divorced in 2014, and while neither of them aired out all the details publicly, sources say the split wasn't exactly smooth sailing. But Tommy wasn't single for long, because in true plot twist fashion, that same year, he said, "I do" again, this time to the gorgeous Vivian Brazil. Yup, he and Vivian tied the knot on June 3rd, 2014. And let me tell you, these two were inseparable. And according to the people close to him, Tommy was finally in a happy place, personally and emotionally. So while the public may have only known Tommy as the jobless bestie from Martin, behind the scenes, he was a devoted dad, a Florida to Atlanta transplant, and a man who believed in second chances at love. And he wasn't afraid to take them. And let's not forget the emotional toll of working in Hollywood, especially as a Black actor trying to stay relevant after a hit show. Thomas reportedly struggled with typecasting, often being offered the same old sidekick roles. And while he smiled through it all, friends close to him said he sometimes felt overlooked and underappreciated by the industry he gave so much to.
And it didn't end there. In 2014, Thomas's personal life got real messy when he found himself tangled in a defamation lawsuit against an ex-girlfriend. Yup, you heard that right. He claimed she was spreading false abuse allegations all over social media. And let's just say, the headlines were not kind. He went from sitcom sweetheart to tabloid target almost overnight. While he always maintained his innocence and tried to keep things classy, the situation left a mark. It was a reminder that even the most beloved stars have baggage, and even Mr. No Job Tommy wasn't immune to real-world drama. Still, through all the heartbreak, legal headaches, and career ups and downs, Tommy stayed grounded. He leaned into his work, poured his heart into helping others, and never stopped showing up with that same warm energy we all fell in love with. But sadly, not all stories end in laughter. Just when it seemed like Tommy was finally finding peace, life threw a devastating curveball. It was reported that Tommy had suffered a ruptured abdominal aneurysm on October 9th. And it was serious. He was placed on life support, and for a moment, nobody really knew what was going on. Some news outlets even jumped the gun, prematurely announcing his death before it was confirmed. Talk about messy. But then came the heartbreaking truth. On October 12th, 2016, just 52 years old, Tommy passed away.
Tommy from the 90s sitcom Martin has died. He died yesterday after being taken off life support.
And the world stopped. It all felt so sudden, especially since just weeks before, he'd had knee replacement surgery.
He was going through knee surgery. He had knee surgery at the time, and he was going through rehab.
and was literally posting on Instagram, sharing his recovery journey and that trademark positivity. The tributes poured in fast. His Martin family, heartbroken. Martin Lawrence himself posted a touching tribute, calling Tommy not just a co-star, but a brother. Tisha Campbell, Carl Payne, everyone shared their memories.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't really want to see him like that. It was just like, it was so surreal because he was so full of life, you know?
And the love was real. You could feel the grief from fans and friends across the world. It was more than just losing a character we loved. We lost a man with heart, hustle, and a whole lot of humor. Tommy Ford may have been the guy with no job on TV, but in real life, he worked hard, on screen, off screen, and in people's hearts. Speaking of hearts, Tommy had a heart of gold and a real passion for giving back. In 1998, Tommy founded a nonprofit called Be Still and Know.
Young people have a nonprofit for youth called Be Still and Know Incorporated. To be.
The mission, building better communities for young people.
Justice, so I have a great passion for young people and for helping people.
And get this, he wrote 2 children's books, Positive Attitude and I Am Responsible for Me, both full of uplifting vibes and big life lessons.
I am responsible for me. So I'm responsible for the things that I do, and you're responsible for your actions too. So I started writing children's books. This one is called, Hey, do you have a positive attitude? And it goes through 12 simple steps to success.
But instead of just selling books and calling it a day, he actually hit the road, visiting schools, talking to kids face to face, telling them they were worthy, capable, and responsible for their own future.
Change dramatic. So I please, as they hear that, they go, just hug them, touch them, just give them an encouraging word because they are beautiful, amazing young people.
Can we get an amen? And you remember that play he directed, South of Where We Live? Yeah, he didn't do that just for the drama. He used it to raise money for the Ebony Showcase Theater, helping keep the arts alive and thriving in his community. Tommy also co-founded the Tommy Ford Ken Sago's Miniature Golf Classic. Yes, miniature golf. A quirky, wholesome way to raise money for charity? Only Tommy. He also served as a celebrity ambassador for Suited for Success Jacksonville, Inc., a group that helps men get back on their feet with confidence and dignity. Even while battling serious health issues, Tommy Ford stayed on his grind, booked, busy, and always creating. He starred in 3 uplifting network shows, worked on a bold documentary called Reverse the Lynch Curse, and was set to direct a film called Beat Street Resurrection. Even after his passing, his work lived on in shows like Beauty and the Baller.
You don't cross the line now, man. What you gonna call me next? You gonna call me an extra?
And films like He Watches Over Me.
Here's this perfect God who loved me at my worst.
And get this, he wasn't just acting. He was teaching too. Tommy was a faculty member at Georgia Piedmont Technical College, mentoring young Black men who wanted to break into film and TV.
And I'm working every day to do that. I teach acting workshops all over the country.
Now that's how you leave a legacy. And even in his final months, Tommy was working on something powerful. He directed a documentary on bullying called Through My Lens ATL, which aired right after his passing. The timing, heartbreaking. The message, unforgettable. So, while the world knew him as Tommy with no job, behind the scenes, he was a full-time role model, a man on a mission, a legacy far bigger than punchlines. So, how much was Tommy really worth? At the time of his passing, Thomas Michael Ford had an estimated net worth of $2 million. Not flashy by Hollywood standards, but he lived modestly and invested in what really mattered: his family, his community, and his craft. He was also a dedicated father, a passionate philanthropist, and a multi-talented creative force. He was so much more than just the jobless best friend we all love.